In 1935, one car stood out for all the wrong reasons: loud, rattling, and dangerously built. The Ford Model 48 roared with a flathead V8 that shook the chassis and screamed at high speeds. Steel dashboards, no seat belts, and shatter-prone glass made crashes brutal. Brakes were weak, and steering had a mind of its own. It looked bold, but behind the wheel, it was a beast barely tamed, noisy, reckless, and ready to bite. Dear viewers, please subscribe to our channel. Thank you for your support. Number 4, 1935, Ford Model 48 V8, revolutionary yet flawed, innovative for its time. It was the first mass-produced V8 for average buyers, offering 85 horsepower, impressive in 1935. Downside: the flathead design caused internal heat buildup due to poor cooling flow. It lacked separate intake and exhaust ports in the cylinder head, so heat couldn't dissipate well. Result: chronic overheating, especially in hot climates or under heavy loads. Maintenance issues: the engine also had low oil pressure at idle, which worsened wear and tear over time. Mechanical brakes: dangerous under duress. Unlike competitors like Chrysler, which had moved to hydraulic brakes, Ford stuck with cable-operated mechanical drum brakes in 1935. Harder to stop the car reliably. Uneven force distribution meant front and rear braking wasn't balanced. In emergencies, rear wheels locked up first, sending the car into a skid. Even minor rain or road grime reduced stopping power drastically. The suspension was solid axle with leaf springs, harsh and bouncy. Steering was vague, with excessive play, especially at highway speeds. Despite its size and power, it lacked stability in sudden maneuvers. In 1935, style, power, and price sold cars, not safety. The V8 gave working-class buyers a taste of performance. It was a hot rodder's dream once it hit the used market. If crash-tested today, the Model 48 would be considered extremely unsafe. No seat belts or crumple zones. Rigid body equals all crash force transferred to occupants. Number 3, 1935, Chevrolet Master Deluxe. Chevrolet's knee-action suspension was an early attempt at independent front suspension (IFS), which allowed each front wheel to move independently over bumps, unlike solid axles where both wheels moved together. It was a step toward more modern ride comfort. Integrated coil springs and oil-filled shock absorbers into a single unit. Mounted vertically and looked like a person's knee, hence the name, promised smoother handling, less road vibration, and more comfort. What went wrong? Fragile design. The enclosed units would leak fluid, which killed shock absorption. Unserviceable. Most mechanics were unfamiliar with the design, and rebuilding or replacing the unit was difficult and expensive. Worsened over time. If left unrepaired, it led to excessive bouncing and nosediving when braking. Unstable steering, especially at higher speeds or on rough roads. Misalignment and tire wear problems. Handling issues. Despite being designed for comfort, the suspension system compromised stability. The body was relatively heavy for the size, and frame flex added to poor handling. On winding or hilly roads, the car could feel floaty and unpredictable. Drivers often said it wandered on the road. Braking and safety problems: used mechanical drum brakes, not hydraulics yet. Those came a bit later on most models. Brakes were prone to fade with heat and could lock up the rear wheels. The combination of weak brakes and unstable suspension created a dangerous mix under emergency conditions. Sharp dashboard edges. Steering columns that impaled drivers in head-on collisions. No seat belts or safety glass in most models. Injuries from minor crashes could be fatal. For 1930s roads and technology, it proved too unreliable and risky for the average driver. Number 2, the Duesenberg Model J was the American answer to Europe's Bugattis and Bentleys. It was engineered to be the most advanced and fastest production car in the world at the time, and it succeeded, but at a cost. Model J, 6.9-liter DOHC straight 8, 265 horsepower, nearly double the output of most rivals. Model SJ, supercharged, 320-plus horsepower, 0 to 60 miles per hour in 8 seconds, top speed over 120 miles per hour. By comparison, most other cars in 1935 topped out around 70 to 80 miles per hour. That kind of speed far outpaced safety tech. Even skilled drivers had difficulty managing sudden acceleration or high-speed handling. The clutch and gearbox were heavy and clunky, making smooth shifting tough, especially under stress. Brakes were hydraulic and advanced for the 1930s, but they were still no match for the car's weight and speed. After repeated braking, like on hills, brake fade was common, leading to runaway car situations. At over 5,500 pounds, momentum was lethal in a crash. Tires were narrow bias ply types, pre-radial, not built for high-speed cornering. No traction control, of course. Loss of grip was sudden and unforgiving. That meant in a crash, none of the energy was absorbed by the frame. It was all passed to the passengers. Owners included Clark Gable, Greta Garbo, Al Capone, and royalty. Some had trained chauffeurs, but many didn't, and inexperienced drivers would lose control easily. Ironically, many of these cars were more advanced than the roads they were driven on, especially in rural areas. Number 1. The KC pickup was Dodge's first true light-duty truck, designed post-Chrysler acquisition. Farmers, aidesmen, and small business owners flathead inline 6, producing around 70 horsepower top speed, 55 to 60 miles per hour, but only on good roads and without cargo fuel economy, 10 to 14 miles per gallon. Less under load. Wood and metal bed, often teated quickly. Frame on body design with limited torsional rigidity. No crumple zones, and absolutely zero occupant protection in collisions. Shook, rattled, and groaned over even moderately uneven surfaces. Noise levels inside the cab were severe. Wind, engine, drivetrain, and road noise all combined. Interesting fact, many 1935 DG trucks were modified by owners, with added wooden doors, homemade heat insulation, or added rear-view mirrors, because factory options were nearly non-existent. The 1935 Dodge Series KC pickup was a hard-working vehicle for its time, but by today's standards, it's a rolling death trap with minimal comfort, no structural affinity, weak braking and handling. It's a beautiful relic, but one best admired at a show, not driven in traffic.